Hi there, Carl Massy here, founder of the world's biggest gym and creator of the results-focused, tailor-made life coach training course for health, fitness and wellness professionals. And welcome. I'm assuming that you're a yoga teacher because we've sort of set this video up so it would go out to yoga teachers, or this training video. So specific for yoga instructors. The training is going to be the same if someone else comes along. So if you're not a yoga instructor, you're going to get the same benefits from this training as well. So the training I'm doing today is looking at beliefs and looking at how beliefs are shaping your lives. And this presentation will go for about 20 minutes. So beliefs is one of my favourite subjects, and I started getting into it when I was in the army for a period of about 9 years, and then I took 1 year's leave without pay. And I went overseas, and I was over in Europe, travelling through Europe, and I realised at that time that a lot of beliefs I had were actually the institution's beliefs as opposed to mine. So I realised, I didn't have the beliefs, so I didn't have the fixed mindset. And when I actually stepped away and started thinking for myself, I realised a lot of these beliefs weren't mine. So it got me into thinking about the difference in our lives it makes based on the beliefs we have. And I like this quote by Henry Ford, and I'm sure you've seen it before. I'm sure it's no surprise to you, or it doesn't come as any new information. If we believe we can or we believe we can't, it actually determines our result. So what I want to do is actually go for a deeper dive. I know you understand the impact of our beliefs. I want to get down and actually give you a deeper dive understanding on and what role they play in our lives. And I don't have the time to go into talking about exactly how we can change beliefs. There could be some hypnosis, it can be some NLP techniques and different techniques there. What we're going to get into is bringing greater level of awareness by increasing your knowledge and understanding of beliefs, how they're formed and the impact they make. So beliefs are shaping your life, and I've written quite a detailed ebook on this, which goes through this in a lot more detail. But essentially we're looking at the beliefs we have determine and drive the behaviour. So behaviour isn't just I'm this type of person. There's something in the mind that is playing this software that determines what behaviour we should have. So it's actually the beliefs we have which drives behaviour. And it's the behaviour that we have which determines the results we get. So if we look at this, and my background was when I was in the Defence Force, I was in engineer. So I'm all about reverse engineering. So, okay, if we want to change the results, it means not only we need to change the behaviour, if we just change our behaviour but not our beliefs, when we're not paying attention, when we're not bringing 100% full awareness to what we're doing in our behavioural sort of expression, the beliefs will play over the top of it, because those beliefs are embedded in the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind will go into autopilot when we're not paying full 100% present time consciousness attention to what we're doing. So it really is important to get back and look at the beliefs. I'm just going to go into a little bit about the conscious and subconscious mind. And like I said, my background is a NLP master practitioner and hypnotherapist. So I've had exposure and I've had experience of playing around in the subconscious mind as well. Now I have a young child, then that young child is about 6 years old, and indicating that our subconscious mind, or more, our conscious mind doesn't become fully developed until about after 6 years of age, which means that most of the beliefs we pick up and most of the program that we have done, and which sort of fills up and resides in our subconscious mind, is actually pre-6. And in that time, because our conscious mind wasn't fully developed, we just sponge everything up. We don't actually decide whether something's good for us, bad for us, going to be beneficial for us, not beneficial for us. We just take it as a given. If mum or dad says something, or if society says something, or we see the behaviour played out, we just let that go into our subconscious mind, and that starts forming our beliefs. Those beliefs start forming our behaviour, and that behaviour actually becomes our personality for all intents and purposes. And I was listening to something recently which suggested that almost 50% of our, he used the word personality, is formed before we actually leave the womb. So suggesting that so much of the programming actually occurs while we're still inside the womb. So much of the programming is done at the earlier stages of our lives when we can't decide, what's good or bad for us. So that software is pretty old, depending on how old you are. Now I'm 42 years old, so my software is pretty old. So if I'm still playing out the same program that I was using when I was 6 years old or 10 years old, it definitely needs an update. This is essentially how beliefs are formed. So a statement is made by a parent or significant person in the child's life. That statement is accepted and becomes a belief. But this is the interesting step here. Then a person starts searching for examples to prove their belief. Instead of interacting with the environment, what happens is someone's internal environment, their beliefs, their subconscious mind, they start trying to bend or twist the environment to fit their beliefs. Or they actually start looking for things that prove their belief is true. What that means is, and there's in the mind is a thing called the reticular activating system. So it essentially says if I put the idea in of red cars, then my subconscious is spotting red cars all over the place, because my subconscious can take in so much more than I can consciously do if I'm consciously looking for red cars. My subconscious is picking up it on peripheries and all over the place at greater distances. So what happens if I have this belief, which I've bought into, and then I tell myself, this is true, the world is an unsafe place, then I start looking for examples to prove my belief, which all it does is means I bypass all the things that aren't in alignment with my belief, such as the world is safe or the world is beautiful, and I just notice the negative. So what I end up doing is having this great amount of evidence to support my belief. So I get to the stage where that is an absolute fact, and I've got so much data to support it. Now that data is just being collected because I focused on that, as opposed to step back and looked at the entire environment. What I've done is form the belief first and then try to see the things that fit my belief. So it's all back to front. This is an interesting diagram. So the blue represents our conscious mind, the dark grey represents our subconscious mind, and it obviously I'm sort of trying to indicate there that the conscious mind is a smaller piece of the overall power of that mind. The greatest power of the mind, and sort of 95%, well, it's much greater than 95%, is subconscious. The subconscious can take in about 1 million times more environmental stimuli per second than the conscious mind can. So the power really is in the subconscious mind. And it's determined that most of the time, like about 95% of the time, we're actually working from our subconscious, as opposed to consciously aware of what we're doing. Now, the example I've got there, so there's some filing cabinets there, and that's where I say the evidence to support our core beliefs lie. So here's an example, and this core belief is I am unworthy. What we have between the conscious and subconscious mind, we've called it a gatekeeper there, and that's a sort of a slang word used sometimes. But it's called the critical bypass when you're talking in hypnosis. Essentially, what happens is, and the example there is person A says to the person receiving it, you're a great person. What happens is the gatekeeper turns around just to check whether that statement is in alignment with all the information and all the evidence that we have in those filing cabinets. Has a look and says, no, actually we've got lots of information and evidence to support the idea that I'm unworthy, therefore I'm going to reject it. On the other hand, if person B says you are worthless, gatekeeper checks, yes, we've got a lot of evidence to support this. I am unworthy, I'm going to take more and more of that. So you might know examples of this that have happened through your own life where you've got someone there and you're trying to motivate them, you're trying to say all these great things, you're trying to tell them and congratulate them for what they've done, but it just doesn't get through. It's because in their subconscious mind they have a belief which is a very strong and deeply held belief that is contrary or is the opposite to what you're trying to say. So it doesn't align. It's out of alignment, so therefore it's rejected. So a lot of times with therapy and that sort of thing, whether it's hypnosis or NLP or different therapies, essentially what they're doing is they're bypassing that critical bypass, getting into the subconscious. So if I'm doing hypnosis with someone, I want to get into the subconscious mind and put those messages in there. Maybe they're about self-love. Maybe they're about self-worth. I want to tell that person they're worthy, but I don't want to have to go through the gatekeeper. So I put someone into a trance, so the conscious mind bows out, and then I have access to the subconscious mind. That's essentially, very basically, how hypnosis works. The other thing with beliefs, and this is an important point I want you to take away here, is there are no right or wrong beliefs. So I don't have the right beliefs and you have the wrong, or you have the right beliefs, I have the wrong, or anyone else has better beliefs than anyone else. What it comes down to is whether your beliefs are empowering. Do they empower you? And some of the ways we're empowered are we have positive expectation, we have more creative thinking. If we're empowered, what you'll find, and I talk about erect posture, as we become empowered, imagine yourself, your shoulders coming back, your chest coming up a little bit more, relaxing the stomach, deeper breathing, so you're getting more chi, energy, prana, more oxygen into your body. Now, as you get more oxygen into your body, that means more oxygen to every cell in your body. It also means more oxygen to your mind, and your mind takes up about 20% of the oxygen that comes into the body. So if we're breathing more deeply, we're getting more oxygen into our mind. So we're actually allowing ourselves to have that mental clarity and allowing ourselves to be more creative. So that's the benefit of an empowering belief. So it doesn't matter what the belief is. Does this belief empower me, or does it disempower me? And a disempowering belief pretty much does the opposite. It makes us more fearful, closes us down, so stops that flow of energy, that flow of chi or prana. Closes us down, constricts the stomach, stops the diaphragm working most effectively, shallows the breath, less oxygen into our mind. Therefore, our mind isn't as clear, our vision isn't as clear, our thinking isn't as effective as well, and obviously our posture. So physiologically, there's some changes there. So again, what we want is, it doesn't matter what the belief is it empowering me or disempowering me? If it's disempowering me, I need to get rid of it. If it's empowering me, well and good, hang on to it, get more of it. This is a great little analogy, and sort of talk about the programming and what programming we have. If we're in 2012, which software do you think is most effective to get the results we want to get? Is it something from 1995, Windows 95, or do you think it would be best for me to use Windows 7, which is the latest software? And this is the thing, we end up hanging on to old beliefs from years and years ago that don't serve us. So what we want to do is we want to, kick those old beliefs into touch, and we want to introduce new beliefs. We want to introduce new software. So we don't want to be stuck in the past saying, yeah, but this is what I've always done. This is how I've always thought. This is, how my life has always been. It's absolutely irrelevant. What we want to do is, what is the best software for you today for the situation you're in? So the person with the most flexible beliefs, who can actually use the belief that's most suitable to the environment they're actually operating within, is going to be the most effective, and it's going to be the most effective for them. This whole idea about hanging on to beliefs. If I'm and I'm 42 now, if I'm still playing a belief that I had when I was 10 years old, my subconscious maybe thinks it's protecting me by using that. I need to challenge that, and I need to peel that away and get rid of that belief if it doesn't serve me now. So my big point out of that is, be comfortable with changing. Be comfortable with completely changing your beliefs. Just because you believe something, through 3/4 of your life, doesn't mean you can't change it. If you find new evidence to support something on the contrary, and if that new evidence empowers you, then that's the stuff you want to hang on to, and you want to get rid of the other stuff. So just to wrap up, in summary, if we want to improve the results we get in life, we need to form new empowering beliefs. So we need to be selective about the beliefs we want. And some of the ways to do that is actually to determine what our disempowering beliefs are and then come up with the opposite of those. That's effectively what we do in the 30-Day Happiness Challenge. And that's the program that we use. That's a personal transformation program we use at World's Biggest Gym. And it's the program that we teach our coaches to use when they're coaching clients as they're going through the training course, so they build up their competence and confidence. So we introduce those new empowering beliefs. Then we take conscious action. So if we're doing the both of those, if we're consciously acting, we're consciously introducing new beliefs, then that's going to lead us to different results. Sorry, I just had to take a mouthful of water there. So what we want to do, introduce new empowering beliefs, new conscious actions, and that will determine or create new results for us. So there you go. Like I said, I didn't have the time to go into talking about how we actually change beliefs. There's a couple of techniques and strategies we use that we teach you through the Life Coach training course and that are introduced at the 30-Day Happiness Challenge. But the first part of changing beliefs really is about awareness, becoming more aware of the idea that we don't have to have these beliefs. We don't have to have this personality that's greatly driven by the beliefs that we may have picked up from our parents. And not to knock anyone's parents, not to say anything's wrong with our parents, maybe they just picked it up from their parents. And maybe their parents didn't know the best. Maybe their parents passed them on something which disempowered them just because they didn't know any better. So it's not a witch hunt, it's about identifying what's working for you and what's not working for you, using more of what works for you and getting rid of the stuff that doesn't. So I just want to finish up. I'll just talk very briefly about the Life Coach training course. The benefits of the Life Coach training course and doing life coaching is obviously we've set a program up where you can have clients anywhere in the world. So, I've had clients in Saudi Arabia, in Canada, in Costa Rica, in Afghanistan, in Germany, all over the place. All they require is internet access, and they can access our online training program, and then all the coaching I do with them, I just use Skype. So, it's really easy to have clients anywhere in the world. Introducing new skills, and I'm a big one on constant and never-ending improvement, constantly learning. I can serve my clients greater or in a much better and more effective way the more I know. So the more knowledge I have, the more skills I have, the more strategies I know, the more effective I am for them. So, I've got a personal fitness background, and I've obviously done yoga for about 12 years, but I want to introduce as many positive, beneficial things for individuals because they may be okay in that area, but another part of their life really needs some work. So what can I do that's going to take them to the next level? So having new skills is beneficial for getting results with anyone. Obviously, it's good for all of us, an additional source of income, and particularly a source of income in between the times when we're normally just doing classes. So if you're doing classes in front of a group of people, when you finish that class and in between the next class, might be a few hours' time. We generally don't do back-to-back classes. So here's an opportunity to learn how to do something so you can fill those times so you can continue generating a source of income. And the thing is, with money, the more abundance we create in our life, the more impact we can have on the people around us. With the Life Coach training course we've created, everyone gets personally coached through it, which is pretty powerful, and that happens at the front end of it before you even get into the course. And that just in itself is, $600 if someone wants me to coach them through the training course or just through the 30-Day Happiness Challenge. So that's available for everyone. We've created a proven system, 30-Day Happiness Challenge. It's an online system. It's a structured system. It's a strategic system. It gives a guaranteed result. As coaches are going through the training course, they're using this program while they build up their competence and confidence, because none of us start off being great coaches. We need to take time to get there. Now, this is giving a structured and a safe environment for that learning process to work. Monthly coaching through the course and after the course, ongoing. We've got a great bunch of coaches already having been through the Life Coach Training course, and our course is about creating a community. It's not about training people and then kicking them out. And the other thing is we're always looking at ways where we can push clients down to coaches. This is essentially what the course looks like. Like I said, at the front end, there's the 30-day happiness challenge, and everyone gets coached through that before they start, and then into the stage 1 of the coach training to become a level 1 coach. And once someone's a level 1 coach, they're deemed competent to put clients through the 30-day happiness challenge. And again, that's that system, that online training system. So the idea then is to get 100 coaching hours using that system. But the good thing about it is you can start charging people straight away to put them through the 30-day happiness challenge. So you're actually earning money as you're going through the training course. I talked about monthly training. Also, we help you develop a product because, again, we want to help you create an alternative source of income or a passive source of income where something is actually selling online and you don't have to be in front of someone doing an hour, doing hourly rates. So that's a huge benefit there. That program and support there is probably worth a couple of $1,000s itself. So really, really beneficial. And obviously the day and age we live in, the opportunity to positive influence the greatest number of people is so much easier now that we have access to the internet. So helping you create that platform. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that training. I hope you got a lot out of that beliefs and understanding the impact that beliefs make and the importance of not only changing our behaviour but actually changing the program, the belief that's playing on loop recording. Now, if you want any more information, just send an email off to judith@worldsbiggestgym.com. Now, she's a yoga instructor herself and's been through the coach training course, so she can give you perspective about how it fits in with the yoga training and that sort of thing. You can also visit our website, worldsbiggestgymcoach.com, and in there's free training, whether it's on the blog. We've also got some podcasts, so there's great training there, some really, really great stuff based again on some science, based on what social psychologists are telling us about what creates the greatest results for people. So if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I look forward to crossing paths with you at some point in the future. It would be really great to meet you at some stage, to do some training with you, some more training, and to become a peer, a coaching peer of yours at some point. So I hope wherever you are on this fantastic, amazing, incredible, beautiful planet of ours, you're having an incredible day. All the very best and take care.